the, the, the essence of existence of the human takes place within three agencies through which that essence lives and thrives. So you have nature, you have the system, and you have the human, what we call human being. So to be human, you exist in nature, you exist in a system, and you exist in a being. So for the human to seek the best of itself, it must be able to excel within these three realms of existentiality. So to be human, you should be a product of nature that lives in a system in which that system lives in a being. So the nature in itself is equally a system and a being of itself. And the being, it's a system and nature. And the system, it's nature and the being. So for human to have the best of itself and to thrive within the best of itself, it must develop its nature, its system, and its being. See, the being part is the self. The system is where that self grows to be, to contribute, to live, to work, to excel, and to be part of. And nature is the beginning of that thing itself. Nature is where everything comes from, which that nature itself comes from a nature or essence that is not defined. I say all the time that the human being is not a unit or a duality, but I call the human being a triangle or triangularism of things. As a philosophy of triangularism, it's like simple things are broken down into three. It becomes very easy for the human being to remember. For example, I will tell you to remember the three P's: projection, perception, and perspective. I will remind you that the human being, away from its natural or primitive intelligence, has three types of AI intelligences: Android intelligence, artificial intelligence, and alien intelligence. I said three things must you seek: beauty, satisfaction, and happiness. I said the human being must seek to do three things: to be good, to be intelligent, and to be positive. So the human being in itself as an essence, you must make sure to remind yourself that if you have ignorance, you have arrogance and insecurities. That if there is insufficiency, there will be inadequacy and there will be insecurities. That the human being must do three things: be aware of their desires, their needs, and their wants. Anger will do three things to you. Anger will destroy you, it will destroy others, and it will destroy futures. War will do the same. That which is negative will do the same. Education, three types of intelligence: yourself, understanding the self, and applicative intelligence, and human personal intelligence. So you have the intelligence of the self. Who am I? Who am I? What am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? What am I here for? What's my purpose? What's my meaning? To know yourself. What makes me happy? What makes me sad? What are the things that make me scared? What do I need to know? What is it I don't know that I need to know? And what is it I don't know that I say I know? How do I become part of the community? How do I become part of a team? How do I express myself? How do I interact with others? How do I carry on a conversation? How do I make my point to be heard? How do I control my emotions, my sentiments? How do I manage my anger? How do I foster myself? How do I seek to get what I want without taking from others or hurting others? How do I teach myself not to get hurt? How do I teach myself to encourage myself, to motivate myself? How do I teach myself to be able to be of great endeavor, of great sacrifice, of positive contribution? How do I teach myself to be resilient, to resist that which is not good, to overcome my temptations and my worries? How do I teach myself to not let myself down? How do I teach myself not to be quick to blame others and do my job? How do I teach myself not to give up? How do I teach myself to control myself when the world is against me? Or when people are trying to push my button to see what I can do? How do I teach myself to be forgiven? Even when some people think that to be forgiven or to forgive means you're weak. How do I teach myself to accept my circumstances? How do I teach myself to know when I'm procrastinating, when I'm not getting a job done, when I'm a drag on the team? when I'm not doing my part of the bargain? How do I teach myself not to get cheated or not to cheat others? Knowing yourself. Is the primary type of intelligence that is embedded in your naturality to teach yourself how to know yourself. Because if you seek to know yourself, you get to know other better. The second part of intelligence is applicative intelligence. Applicative intelligence is the intelligence that only education or experiences or vocational training can give to you. You go to school, for example, to learn. And the knowledge you acquired in school, you're going to use that knowledge to go to the workforce, to have a job. That job will be capable to take care of yourself and take care of others. And education will equally teach you about the community in which you live in, the system, how to operate in that system, and how to thrive in that system.